Well, was yesterday's game interesting? The Portugal versus Spain game. Was that interesting? We are going to talk about that. And people are just saying the football gods or the football natures, punish US for trying to manipulate the competition after they reversing the Florian Balogun's whole red card issue and they losing to Belgium 4-1. We are going to talk about that. Today's Mr. Mafo Sports here. We talk about incredible football stories. Anything you have to know, football analysis, pre-match, post-match, stay logged in. Always braha, then subscribe, put us on post notification so when you drop a content, you'll be the first person to view. It's really important. Yesterday we came to talk about the Portugal versus Spain. I did a pre-match analysis. If you couldn't watch, you can go and watch that video. It was an interesting video where I tried to dissect the whole approach of both teams and the weaknesses of both teams, where each and every other team is supposed to exploit to be able to get a reasonable result at the end of the day. But it seems it didn't go as planned for the Portuguese national team yesterday. And interestingly, yesterday, every shot was directed to Cristiano Ronaldo. And I was like, no. Let's stop being sentimental. I really understand some Leo Messi fans might be, throwing him. Banter game, no formula. That one is true. But the thing is, everything that happened at the World Cup is a sole responsibility of the whole Portuguese national team, not Cristiano Ronaldo. You don't expect Cristiano Ronaldo at age 41 to be, deciding games, taking the game upon himself to decide. No. It doesn't work out like that. At his age, the only thing he needed was to stay in the box, be the fox in the box, and at the end of the day, the Portuguese national team is going to feed him with that necessary passes to be able to, score the goals. But I think the midfield shape of the Portuguese national team was a major problem since the first game against DR Congo till their game against the Spanish national team. Yesterday, after the game, and that was Roberto Martinez resigned as the Portuguese national team coach. So he's no more the Portuguese national team coach. So the FA will be going for a new coach, and subsequently, if there is a news about a new coach or a major development about the new coach coming in, we'll be here to talk about it. And how do you rate the performance of Roberto Martinez? Already I've said, he's a manager, naturally mentioning because yes, people are saying he wasted the golden generation of Belgium and also came to waste the golden generation of Portugal. That one there is more of a fanatic thing they are talking about. But the thing is, the approach he went on, like the approach he was, following in the Portuguese national team, the style of football he was trying to play, I think it wasn't that suitable, because imagine having controllers like Vitinha and João Neves in your midfield, having a creator like Bruno Fernandes. You have to find the appropriate system for those people. I think a three-man midfield, a flat 4-4-3 does not favor Bruno Fernandes. And you only see Bruno Fernandes thrive when it's a 4-2-3-1 approach, where he's more in advanced position, more than being part of the interior number 8 or the flat 4-4-3 approach. And that's one thing I think he couldn't get that thing right, because Bruno should be in the advanced role to be able to create. Bruno can give you that work rate of the ball. He does, but not as how João Neves is going to give you. So why don't you go on the 4-2-3-1 approach, where there will be a triangle, the regular triangle in midfield. The tip of the triangle will be in the attack, and the base will be Vitinha and João Neves. Vitinha will control the game. João Neves will, connect the defense and the attack by going a box-to-box approach. I think that was a suitable system, but he wanted to go on a 4-3-3 approach where, and I think it wasn't making any other sense to me. So the approach Roberto Martinez personally chose wasn't the best for the Portuguese midfield. But let's focus more on yesterday's game. Then we know what exactly really happened. I think yesterday's game wasn't the best game we experienced. Honestly, it wasn't that game we experienced. The anticipation around the game, the expectation around the game, it wasn't a best game we saw yesterday. And you know it, I know it wasn't that best game. You see, when there is a midfield of Dani Olmo, Pedri, Rodri, a midfield of Bruno, João Neves, Vitinha, you are expecting a proper midfield battle between these two. Proper control from both sides. But yesterday, Spain didn't look that sharp, but Portugal was very boring in terms of midfield. That's one thing we experienced yesterday. Spain were the ones trying to push harder in terms of control, and Spain didn't control the game as expected. The Portuguese national team didn't control the game as expected. And I think everyone looked off on the pitch. And you see, one thing is the individual battles where we were even expecting to go or didn't go as planned. I think the late minute of the first half rather, after Lamine Yamal decided to take on Nuno Mendes, where he got a muscle injury and went out, the game started getting boring because Nelson Semedo didn't pose any threat at the side of Lamine Yamal, and Lamine Yamal was able to, create as he wanted yesterday. So I think some individual battles didn't go as planned yesterday. The midfield battle we wanted, the Vitinha, Bruno, João Neves, the Pedri, Olmo, Rodri midfield, combating each other in midfield, it didn't go as planned. And tactically, I think both coaches were, being more conservative than taking more risk. That's one thing I saw yesterday. Roberto Martinez was, thinking of how at the end of the day his defense is not going to concede a goal and take the game into extra time, because he knows perfectly that if they are supposed to take the game to extra time, then the Spanish national team is going to lose on penalties. And it has been proven in the past years that each time the Spanish national team went on penalties in a major competition, they lost. It started from the Euros 2020, they lost on penalties. It came to the World Cup 2024. That was 2022 rather. The World Cup 2022, they lost. And 2018 World Cup 2, they lost. So you could see, say, whenever they go on penalties, the Spanish national team really struggle to qualify to the next stage of the competition. So the coach was being more conservative. Let's take the ball into penalties, and at the end of the day, we are going to get them because we are having good takers, including Cristiano Ronaldo, we are having Bruno Fernandes and others who are going to convert the ball into the net, and at the end of the day, eliminate the Spanish national team. But the only thing Luis de la Fuente did that was positive was the substitution he did at the 84th minute. That was something that was really positive, because considering the fact that the Spanish national team were not performing very well in terms of midfield dominance, and I saw him doing a substitution of bringing in Merino to replace Dani Olmo and bringing in Fabian Ruiz-Pena to replace Pedri, it was a sensible decision he took. And at the end of the day, these key substitution came in and made impact. Ferran Torres coming in for Alejandro Baena. It was a sensible substitution. Ferran Torres assisted Merino, and Merino put the ball into the net. The time they scored, I think the only thing Spain was supposed to do was, manage the game very well, and that's all. They will qualify to the next stage of the competition. So, congratulations to the Spanish national team side. It wasn't a sharp game. It wasn't a great game we saw from them. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is qualifying to the next stage of the competition. Tournament it's not about playing best of football, but it's about being strategic sometimes and qualifying to the next stage of the competition. Now, back to today. That was around 12 a.m. US versus Belgium. And I think everyone is saying the football gods serve justice to the Belgium national team, because Florian Balogun wasn't supposed to play. Trump called the White House, blah, 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 and everything started from there. But I think on any other day, Rudy Garcia's Belgium was, all over the US national team. If you watch the game properly, you are going to see the US national team was not posing any threat. Although they were in the game, but they threw the game away. But you see, the Belgium national team, it's not about having quality players. It's about, having players who are supposed to play as a unit. And that's what the Belgium national team did yesterday. At the end of the day, they qualify to the next stage of the competition. And that's the most important. So the Belgium national team will be facing the Spanish national team on Saturday at the SoFi Stadium. At the SoFi Stadium, 7 p.m. It's going to be an interesting game. Whether the Belgium national team will qualify to the semi-finals or the Spanish national team will qualify to the semi-finals, only time is going to tell today. But one thing is, today there is a mega game, Argentina versus Egypt. And I don't know what you are expecting today. Would Lionel Messi's Argentina progress to the quarterfinals of this competition after Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal was eliminated yesterday? So let's expect nothing but the best from the Argentine national team, because for me, I don't expect this Egyptian national team to beat Argentina, honestly. They are very good in defending. They defend as a unit. They are very compact. They are quick in transition because they have Umar Mamouche, Mo Salah. They are substitutions like Mohamed Trezeguet that will come from the bench and make some impact. But at the end of the day, I think the Argentine national team has gathered enough experience to beat this Egyptian national team. The Egyptian national team, even in their prime, did not have proper taste of bigger stage in football. the World Cup. But the Argentine national team has really had that thing, like they've had that thing from the onset. From the late Diego Maradona to Batistuta to Lionel Messi, they've tasted every possible thing on the world stage. So they have enough experience to, hand this Egyptian national team at the end of the day. So I just think they should be very careful with the Egyptian national team because they are very quick in transition. I think what Cabo Verde couldn't do, the Egyptian national team can do and do it better because they are having prolific attackers in the shape of Mo Salah, who can convert the ball in a twinkle of an eye. But I don't think this team is going to, give a lot of issues to the Argentine national team, considering the fact that Lionel Sebastian Scaloni's system is more centered on we staying compact, we getting control, and we trying to look up for the spaces in attack and also locate a player like Leo Messi to decide the game for us. So I just feel it's not going to be a walk in the park for the the Argentine national team, but it's going to be an interesting game. And I think at the end of the day, the one who is going to qualify will be the Argentine national team. So make sure you like, you subscribe, and you put us on post notifications so we drop a content, you'll be the first person to view.